Hey guys, it's Alex with Mage's Library. Thanks for spending some of your time with me. We got a lot of ground to cover today, so I have a little cheat sheet here. I want to talk about the Mythic Edition boxes. I didn't realize that those were a thing. I always seem to miss that Wizards announces them and says that they're going to sell them. Um, Brief synopsis of what I understand from watching the YouTube. Production was limited. The item sold thousands of units within minutes. Customers were unable to process orders as eBay could not process all of the orders coming in simultaneously. And some customers had completed the transaction and had their money refunded to them. Those guys are going to receive a foil sheet of War of the Spark, rares and mythics. And eBay's issuing them a $20 coupon that can be used, that's only valid for 2 weeks. I think Mythic Edition boxes are totally investable, and it's because Wizards of the Coast is making horrendous errors in production and distribution. None of the product is reaching end users. I'm an end user of this. I know it's not investable. I know it's marketed as a collectible item. I still want them. I'm the end user of this item. We'll get back to that in a minute. And if you are an end user that happened to purchase the product direct, the monetary gain it's too great for you to ignore. You're into it for $250 and you can sell it on eBay for $900. Who's going to turn that down? So straight away, buy it and unload it. If you got to undercut your competition $50 and promote your listing, do it. You're still making a 300% return on that. Wizards of the Coast is issuing apology product for those who completed the transaction. Whether or not that product that you get is sellable is another question. So going forward, if Wizards of the Coast doesn't change their current model, you should always attempt to place the order. If you are the lucky few who receive the product, unload it quickly and make massive returns. If you don't, maybe you get something. And if not, you don't lose anything either way. I think of this as the Black Friday Christmas shopping where we used to see like massive amounts of people getting trampled, people rushing in to go get a flat screen TV for, a few $100s. Wizards of the Coast feels like it's their fault and wants to make it right for everyone who was trampled inside the store. Those are the people who actually had their orders placed and are getting issued refunds. But everybody who got trampled in the parking lot, that's outside of their store, so they don't have any control of that. Those are all the people who couldn't even place the order because the system was so overloaded. So I totally missed that Star Wars fans were not supposed to go see Solo after this horrible thing came out. Now, I hated this movie. This ruined everything that I loved about Star Wars for me. Disney was aware of all the people backlashing and being upset and talking about it on social media, and they didn't fix anything until a bunch of people didn't go see Han Solo. So, am I telling you guys that we should boycott Magic the Gathering or pick a time period where we don't buy anything across all platforms? No, because I don't think Magic the Gathering players can do that. So, I can choose to not play Fallen Empires cards. I can choose not to play War of the Spark drafts, or when friends come over to play Commander, we don't play with Energy or Affinity. I'm not picking on any of those specifically. I don't harbor any resentment or disdain for any of those that I mentioned. I'm just using that as an example. I have no choice over The Last Jedi. I have to deal with that. So let me be very clear where I stand on this matter. Wizards of the Coast has an obligation and a right to make as much money as possible. They have no obligation to produce an investable product. I also believe that there's always more money to be made out there. So my very unpopular view, and it's going to be a big pill to swallow, is that if Wizards of the Coast doesn't change their model, their production and distribution, if we're not going to boycott, we can't whine about how expensive they are on the internet. And I know that sounds terrible. I know that sounds heartless. I don't get to have the product but I also have the opportunity to make more money. I chose last night to take some time off. I chose to watch the X-Files for the third time in my life. I chose to play Star Wars Battlefront. I chose to do a War of the Spark draft on Arena. I'm never going to get the cards on Arena, by the way. I chose to spend my time that way. I chose to spend my money that way. When I went to Panda Express, while I was watching the X-Files, I could have been doing something to make the money to purchase that product. It's capitalism. It is what it is. So why do I think this is investable? It's investable as long as Wizards of the Coast continues to produce this product under the model and distribution with limited print runs. Now, let me rephrase that from investable to flippable. This is unconventional investment at best. Our time horizon on this event is near instantaneous, and the return it's predictable and mappable without steady returns throughout the life of the investment. What I mean by that is you're only buying this expecting to be able to flip it the day that it comes into your possession. And even then, you could pre-sell it and just say, hey, Wizards of the Coast says I'm going to get it on the 3rd, so realistically it might be the 7th, and then a couple days handling time, but I digress. So Wizards of the Coast can begin production on these items and return to a distribution model closer to the tried and true so that end users can actually get their product. But if they don't, end users just have to accept the reality that the most likely scenario is if you want this item, the MSRP, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they say it is. It's only going to follow the secondary market trends. That's how it's going to be. I cannot stop it. If I want to get this for sure, I have to go on eBay and pay somebody $30. If I'm lucky, I'll find it at Walmart for $13. When I found the first 4 that I got them at $13. And then the others I got, Walmart just wanted to unload their product, so they marked down the entire line to $10. Nobody needs 14 Snokes. I didn't get 14 Snokes. I got more of these Sand Troopers for $10. I just got lucky. So my cautionary warning for those of you who want to invest in this. If you open the product, you most certainly own it. You're locked into it at the price you paid for it. I personally will not pay you what you want for those cards. I want the cards, but I'm not willing to part ways with that amount of money to get Special Jace the Mind Sculptor. I'm just not. Would I like to have the card? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would love to have the card. I would buy multiples of those things if I could. But I'm not paying that price. So now you have one less customer. So that's one thing to think about. But if you buy any number of these units, expecting them to continue to rise in price, bear in mind, Wizards of the Coast has the right, and it's within their power to produce more of this product to remedy the situation as it is now. They can make more product to meet the demand. They can make more product to fulfill the customer's orders. They could have just as easily printed the foils as they did a foil sheet that you would have gotten in the box and mailed you those foils and a booster box of Ravnica Allegiance, and then the problem would be as closely as possible remedied. So if you invested in this, get your return now because it's all risk from here. This is the only way I classify anyone who bought these as an investor, is if your intention is the moment you have it to unload it to somebody else. And even then, if you really want me to consider you an investor, you have to go by actual wealth. You have to take that return and put it into something that's going to build your cash flow, build your wealth. Otherwise, I don't want to hear about how you're an investor because you bought this mythical edition. And I'm sorry to say it. I just feel that we either have to boycott, which I don't think we're capable of doing, and nobody would benefit from that, or Wizards of the Coast needs to fix this situation and make the product available. I'm here telling you that if the product were available, if I could go to my game store and I could buy it, or I could even go on eBay and buy it directly from Wizards of the Coast, that's a reasonable alternative, I would do it. But I can't. And I'm not going to give somebody all that money for cards that I'm going to open that I think are overpriced now. And I'm not going to own it thinking that it's going to go up, because Wizards of the Coast can fix the situation. So just food for thought. I'll talk to you guys soon.